Hello there, and welcome to our newest exhibit. Our tour begins a long time ago, from the time period of Canada's origins to 1774, with the artifact of the woolen blanket, or more commonly referred to as the Hudson's Bay blanket. This blanket represents a key component of building the Canadian economy because it was one of the significant tradable goods that were commonly used as currency during the fur trade time period. Because of its durability, thickness, and the practicality that comes from the warmth that it provides, these blankets were a common purchase and thus were highly used throughout this time period. The fur trade time period is pivotal in creating Canada's identity and building its overall wealth by allowing the land that would become a nation to develop and gain a strong economy through the form of commerce. Next up, we have the 1774 until 1867 time period, with a focus on the importance of a strike-a-light being used during the War of 1812. These tools have been replaced by flint and steel today, as well as numerous other modern tools. Strike-a-lights would have been carried by many, but certainly by both British and Canadian soldiers, and this highly benefited them both physically and mentally. As such, it would not only allow them to start a fire, keeping warm and avoiding numerous infections and diseases, certainly during the cold months, as the war went from June of 1812 until February of 1815, but it also helped them mentally by allowing them to light tobacco, which was a common release for them as a way to help them make it through the tough war. Therefore, the strike-a-lights were a crucial aspect of this time period and highly helped during the War of 1812. Our next artifact within this exhibit is from the time period from Confederation in 1867 until 1945. In 1912, the Ontario Premier, James Pliny Whitney, put into place Regulation 17, which is government issued through his Conservative Party at the time. This document depicted that English was the only official language of education in Ontario. As such, in correspondence with those changes, from that point forth, there would only be a limited number of French schools in Ontario. While it was amended a year later, allowing French to be studied for a maximum of 1 hour per day, it still immensely impacted the relationship between Francophones with the government as well as with English Canadians due to the attempted elimination of their language through a lacking of education on the subject. Luckily, over the years, French has been implemented more into education since Regulation 17, and Canada has two official languages as well as two official languages that are funded for education by the Ontario government. Next up, we have a helmet that Captain Thane McDowell wore during the Battle of Vimy Ridge, which is also from the time period of 1867 until 1945. Later on, the same day that he wore his helmet, he was awarded the Victoria Cross for his bravery displayed during the battle at Vimy Ridge. Vimy Ridge is an extremely notable battle for Canada due to the cunning actions that led them to a pivotal victory. Captain Thane McDowell took down a machine gun nest and then chased soldiers from another nearby nest. He then saw a German entering one of the tunnels under Vimy Ridge and was able to trick the Germans into thinking that he was with a much bigger group, which led two of the German officers and 75 German soldiers to surrendering. Even with a wounded hand and being under intense shell fire, he continued to send the prisoners out of the tunnel and maintained the position that he had made for 5 days, until his battalion was finally able to relieve him. In the end, Canada and their allies stood their ground, and with the cunning choice to utilize the element of surprise, they were able to attack and capture Vimy Ridge, overall gaining the victory at the end of that battle. Finally, we have Terry Fox and how he was able to create a powerful impact on Canada's identity with his legacy that became internationally known after he started the Marathon of Hope in 1980. Terry Fox had the goal of running from coast to coast across Canada while fighting cancer. The uniqueness of his ambitions created immense attention that quickly became very widespread across national and international news channels. Even after the Marathon of Hope ended, the Terry Fox Foundation maintained its presence in over 30 countries with annual Terry Fox runs occurring since. As such, the current total that the Terry Fox Foundation has raised is well over $850 million thanks to worldwide supporters. It is especially important to remember his legacy through one of the many artificial legs that he used during the marathon to display the determination, perseverance, and resilience that he had throughout. Those are all 5 of the artifacts from my exhibit from Canada's origins until present day. Thank you for listening.